dream of vision. For vision, more fine lace, you can still bring your stuff. Yeah. This big giant's talking New York with a skyline bleeds. Basketball dreams in the football seas. Got a mic in the hand and a vision that feeds. In the fantasy realms where the ghost dog leads. He's a shadow on the court and a phantom on the field. Timberland stomping, truth never concealed. Got my podcast lit, each story revealed. Talk Ryan legends and hoops that appeal.
Here is GhostDog here at GhostDog's Big Talk. Because I talk big like a giant. Pay attention as I break down the science, crunching football mathematics like an ancient Mayan. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe, especially if you feel that vibe. Here bringing it to you live with the day 2 joint with the Jets practice. Man, oh man, lots to go over, a lot more improvements. You know what I'm saying? But first thing I gotta say is defense. Defense. One more time. Defense. Fun little fact. It was at the Giants where we came up with the little signage for defense, the chant, if you will. So this is nothing new here. This is absolutely going to be our identity heading into the 2025 season. Couple things here of note that I got jotted down. They were saying that Brian Burns was basically living inside the offensive Jets backfield. They couldn't do anything against this defense today. Not a near, nada. You hear me? Holding it all the way down. Abdul Carter again, making individuals out there look silly. But Brian Burns, from what I've been looking at and from what I've been reading, stole the show. Absolutely dominant. You know, they even asked him a couple questions at the podium. He said he's been working with Dex to kind of refine and, retool his game, if you will, which I just think that is a true hallmark, a true quality of a leader. Understanding that, there's always room for improvement. And understanding that they can't do it all alone. They have to be able to rely on others. Understanding their limitations. Okay? So Brian Burns will get busy. Absolutely. But before we get into all the craziness, into the details, couple noticeables here. Hyatt practice, Phillips as well. Evan Neal at the right guard position. Then they switched him over to the left guard to see what was going on, and with the 1s and the 2s respectively. Also, shout out to Jermaine Illuminor. Congratulations on the new baby girl. Oh man, such a dope, so dope. Brand new addition to his family, man. Just big ups to him, man. Much blessings, and just can't wait to see him back on the field. But enjoy your time with the fam. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely well deserved. And again, congratulations. That being the case, couple noticeable names out there today as well. Tay Banks, Manhurts. Now, Manhurts is whatever. My problem is with Tay Banks. And if you've been tuning in so far, man, I'm a supporter of that young man, an advocate, if you will. And it's just stuff like this is concerning because now I think I'm at the point now where it's safe to say we got to start having that question about where we're going to be at if we can no longer continue with him at that cornerback 2 spot. Because, I'm hoping this is just like a maintenance situation, and I'm hoping that I would rather him have lingering injury issues that we don't know about that might be hindering his performance as opposed to him not just being capable of performing because of whatever reason. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's some ulterior motive situations going on. Because remember, we drafted him for Wink Martindale defense. So I've been paying attention to how Dable have been doing things, especially when it regards to the Wink Martindale situation. So I don't want to get too crazy into the conspiracy theories, but all in all, this is absolutely concerning to me. So that's just something to keep an eye out Hopefully it's nothing serious. Hopefully he can just get his head out of like whatever stink he's got going on and just get onto it. And you know what? He's not the only one who I'm noticing who is struggling here, who I said I was hoping that they could make that next leap. And it just so happens there's somebody else within that same draft class that we will talk about a little bit later. However, you know, those were some noticeables. Players coming back for practice, players that were out for the day. You know, we can get into the defense a little bit later, but let's talk about this offense because they was not slouching at all whatsoever. Jackson Dart had a rushing touchdown and then a pass to Bo Collins, just a beautiful on-the-money pass. He was slinging it. From what I'm telling from the clips and from what the beat reporters are writing up, man, it is just seems to me that he is just grasping everything that Daboll is giving him. Now, one could argue, you know, he's capable of catching up on his own regard. Another argument could be, you know, maybe Daboll is kind of putting that extra attention into him, and rightfully so, because his job is on the line, you know? So, does that mean I want him starting right away? Absolutely not. I want New Jack City Dart to sit, let Russ get the lumps. I want this young man preserved so that when it is time for him to take that field proper, he can do so with as prepped as possible, you know? And talking about Russ, no slouch neither, rushing touchdown, made a nice pass to Greg Dulcich. I'm hoping I'm saying that right, you know? So the offense was clicking today. You know, Tracy was doing some things from what I was reading, looking like the starter that he deserves to be out there. You know, a great bounce back from day one to day two, man, because, you know, we could talk about this defense and we understand how great it could be, and we will mention the defense. However, we got to spotlight this offense, being as that it has been our main handicap for God knows how long. You know, putting up 15 points per game average ain't going to cut it in this league. Never will, never has. Maybe back in the days when, you know, they was running like the wing T or whatever, but nah, not no more. Not in this league. Not when you got multiple receivers putting up 1,000-yard seasons within a team, you know? So the offense came back clicking, got busy. Granted, you know, you could say because there weren't a lot of starters out for the Jets defense. However, for the Jets defense, you know, defending the Giants a little bit here, they were out there without a Malik Neighbors and a couple of their starters as well. So, you know, it's a little bit of a evening of the playing field, if you will, there. So let us rejoice on all this. And, you know, talking about this offense, a lot of UDFA. Oh, before I get into anything, though, with the UDFAs, the receivers at least. Marcus Bo was with the ones and was holding his own. I've been saying this in the X Spaces. You've heard me say it before. This kid is looking like an absolute steal. Kid is physical, athletic. It's just like when I watch him play, he just knows what he's doing. You know? So expect him to do some things here real soon. Especially given how unpredictable, you know, our O-line can be at times with injuries and what have you. As far as I'm concerned, it's only a matter of time before he has that swing tackle position on lock. No nonsense. This kid is for real. And I'm so glad we were able to take him when we did, because it's looking like an absolute steal. So, absolutely, you just love to see it. Love to see it. Now, going into these UDFAs, Bo Collins, just an absolute catch from an absolute beautiful throw from Jackson Dart. So now, he's been in the conversation now for a while now at training camp. So has a Montrell Washington, and let us not forget little Jordan Humphrey. You know? And there was a while here where I thought like Hyatt was going to come into these training camps and make some noise, and he did a couple things here and there, but however, what's going on with him now? You know? I just don't understand what the situation is. I just don't. Is it injury? Like, what is it? What's the concern here, man? Is he just that much in like the doghouse? Is he having problems grasping the complex, whatever complexities that Brian Dable is putting down for him, man. Because, dude, this kid just nowhere to be found right now. And I'm just, now it's up to the point where, you know, we got to start thinking, is he going to make the team? Is Bo Collins or, like, you know, Montreal Washington, like I said, are they going to snatch their own spots on this roster? You know, because nothing is freely given here in the NFL. You got to earn it. You know, and I'm not trying to put it all on Hyatt, obviously, because, you know, I have my doubts about Brian Dable, and make no mistake about it, I don't want nobody to be surprised when I say this. You know, I got my eye on Brian Dable. I'll just leave it at that, because I have my doubts. You know, I think that man takes a lot of things personal, but that's me. I don't want to get too crazy, lost in the weeds there. You know, just, it's a little bit of a situation like a silver lining where, you know, we're finding people who can be those players we need them to be. It's just unfortunate it wasn't the ones who we thought they were going to be in terms of like a Hyatt, you know what I'm saying, or even a Tay Banks, because, man, it's just, for as much hope as I have for this team, man, I do want to see these players succeed, you know. But c'est la vie, however, you know. Talking about the defense, though, as I said, just absolutely getting busy, just doing their thing. Man, look, it's going to be interesting to see the race that's going to go on between these D linemen for sacks, okay? Because everybody's going to eat on this D line. Because even Kayvon Thibodeau, for the Kayvon Thibodeau doubters and haters out there, I'm talking y'all, he was getting busy. Came out there with nothing but energy. So pay attention, man. Pay attention. We very well might have our new version of OC Tuck and Kiwanuka out there. Okay? With a Carter, Burns, and a Thibodeau. Right? Because people want to talk about OC and Tuck. People forget about Kiwanuka. Yeah, they do. And he's worth mentioning. So absolutely, man. With a Dex up the middle, crazy. You know, a couple things too with the CB2 position with Tay being out, and now it's a battle between him and Cordell Flott. A little bit of a concern there because Trey Hawkins is, like, you know, having his situations where he's not practicing. And not that I'm even relying on Trey Hawkins like that. It's just a depth situation now, you know. Because for as much as the D-line was doing things, there was a couple situations out there from what I was reading that Adebo struggled here and there as well. So it just seems to, and another notable that is coming to my mind, Tyler Nubin at one point was seen on the sideline on the bike. So, yeah, no, man, that's even like with the starting talent and the depth, the DBs, that secondary on our defense, starting to be a little bit of a concern. I'm not going to hold you. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Hopefully, though, everybody can get, you know, whether it's maintenance for their bodies or mentally getting in the game, hopefully everybody can just get it together so that, you know, game one, we are ready with all the starters healthy, mentally ready to go out there and get busy, to get belt to ass against them Commanders. So, talking about intensity, it was a little hot out there. Fight broke out, nothing crazy, but however you love to see it. Bo was out there doing things too. Shout out to Bo yet again. Keep an eye on that young man, I'm telling you. You know, not crazy though, nobody got hurt, whatever, but you'd love to see a little bit of a scrap out there because, you know, the intensity's got to be high, man. You know, there's high levels of expectations. So, you know, that's my recap for the joint practice. Jets, Giants. I believe they have maybe... Oh, no, I think this is the last one. I think maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow, and then I think, you know, they finally the game on Saturday. So stay tuned for that recap. Stay tuned for other things as well. You know, I'll try to have a mixtape come out there soon later on this week as well. Stay tuned for stuff at the Aboriginal Sports Network. I'll have some fantasy stuff over there as well as my Tap-In Tuesdays. So stay tuned, man. Stay ready for this content. It's going to be coming out hot and fresh for y'all, man. I promise you. Season's only going to pick up more and more, and we're going to get more and more busy. So pay attention. Pay attention. And with that being the case, make sure you hit that subscribe if you are new to the channel. Hit the like, leave a comment. Help me out, you know what I mean? Help the algorithm. With that, I'm going to give y'all a big blue salute. And peace.
From the shadows of MetLife to Mike's last track, GhostDog repping Big Blue, never looking back. Podcast sales, that's deep in the fog. Gridiron echoes follow the phantom dog. Jersey glows under moonless skies. Fades with the beat, but never truly dies. He barks once loud, a New York anthem blast. That vanishes like stories from podcast past.
This is a GhostDog mixtape original.